guys, it's Gecko, and today I am bringing you a very overly ambitious TBR. This is going to be specifically the first part, my library books, is going to be the books I intend to read within the next few weeks, which is a huge pile, and then I have two piles of my own books that I want to get through that have been on my TBR forever. TBR is a to be read, so that just means the books that I desperately want to read. Now, because only two of them are rereads, three of them are rereads. I don't actually know what they're about. So, I'm just going to be giving you the name, the title and the cover. And hopefully, when I've read them, especially the library books, I should be doing a review on my thoughts on. With my books, I might read like 4 or 5 and then do them, unless I've still got time in the library books. I don't have to take them back straight away, because it'd be nice to do mini wrap-ups and things like that. That sounds fun. Anyway, the first book is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a Christmas Carol retelling, which just sounds fantastic, because I was in Scrooge last year and I also read A Christmas Carol, because I'm looking at my classics are just down there on the shelf here, because I wanted to read the source material. Okay, book number 2 is Dear Evan Hansen, the novel by Val Emick. Sorry if I pronounce any of these names wrong. With Stephen Levinson, Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, the creators of the show. So this is the novel based on the musical, and I've been listening to the soundtrack, so this is going to be interesting because I love musical theatre. I've got really, really high hopes for Dear Evan Hansen. I really do. Next book I've already started. I got it out of the library today and I was like, this sounds so good. An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. So far it's pretty good. I'm only 54 pages into it, and it seems to be about a girl who paints, and then a fairy prince asks her to paint him and something goes wrong. So it'll be interesting to see what goes wrong and why. The next book on my list is Before She Ignites, book 1 in the Fallen Isles trilogy by Jodi Meadows. There's a very, very pretty cover there. So, and what you can see reflected is a room spray that I got from Fairy Loot ages ago. I just kind of put it there, and beside it is a mug full of bookmarks. I will show you that one day. The next one is Spindle by E.K. Johnston, and this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. So this is going to be interesting. I've read Beauty and the Beast retellings, Little Mermaid retellings, Cinderella retellings. I don't know if I've read any other retellings. I don't think... Actually, I have. A lot of PC Cast books are retellings of myths, and I love PC Casts, so yeah. The next one's also by E.K. Johnston, and this is Exit Pursued by a Bear, which I'm assuming is some kind of Shakespeare retelling, because Exit Pursued by a Bear is a Shakespeare quote, or reference, or something to do with Shakespeare. The next one has a very beautiful cover. Very, very beautiful. And this is That Inevitable Victorian Thing. And from the back it just said it's a modern fairy tale, so that should be interesting. Don't know if it's a retelling, but if it is, it'll be interesting to read. The next book is Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz, which is a very cool cover. I love the 4 crowns and the light. There's the back, and there's the spine. And I think book covers are really cool now. And I think this is told in more than one perspective. I don't know what it's about, but I'm assuming there are 4 queens who are dead. Sounds fun. The next book is a Cinderella retelling. I seem to have a thing for retellings. There's a retelling over here as well, so that should be interesting. I think I have 2 retellings. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is a Cinderella retelling set as a Comic-Con type thing for a show called Starfield. So that should be quite interesting. The next one is, that is Ukulele by Ashley Poston. The next one is Predator's Gold, Book 2 of the Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. So, I read the first one because there's a woman who works at the library that I volunteer at who was like, Gecko, you need to read this series. And I was like, okay. I got the first one. Amazing. And she's so right. So, thank you for recommending me that. The next book, again, I've already started. I'm on chapter 4 and on page 29. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is a Queen of Hearts origin story to an Alice in Wonderland retelling. And the last library book, which is good because this one's ridiculous and you wouldn't be able to see me, although for some of you that might actually be an improvement. Joking. This is Days of Blood and Starlight, the sequel to Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, which is an interesting I read the book. One of my favourite quotes comes from the first book, and it's, once upon a time an angel and a devil fell in love. It did not end well. And this one has on the back this beautiful, beautiful imagery. Once upon a time an angel and a devil held a wishbone between them, and its snap split the world in two. It's beautiful language. I think it's such a beautiful thing, and I can't wait to dive more into Laini Taylor's whimsical wonders because her books are incredible. I say having only read one, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm just going to pop these down there and probably kick them over because I have 2 piles of my own books to get through as well. There are 3 rereads on this list. These are the books I want to read in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, and stuff. I'll let you know how I get on with that. First book is Fireblood by Ellie Blake, the sequel to Frostblood. It's kind of like people who have the power of fire meet the power of people with the power of frost, so like Frozen meets fire. The first one was really good, so I'm hoping that the sequel's just as good. It's a trilogy, so that should be interesting. The next book on my list is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is apparently a murder mystery set at a boarding school for gifted kids. And someone disappeared back in the... Let me get the year right. 1936. So it should be really interesting to find out. And this girl who's really into true crime goes to the school and she's like, I'm going to figure out what happened. So that should be cool. This is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I know absolutely nothing about the book except people are telling me I should read it left, right and centre. I'm going to read it. The next book is Flame of the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. There is another Renee Ahdieh book on the pile. This is, as far as I know, a Mulan retelling or inspired by Mulan, which is one of my favourite Disney movies. Not going to watch the remake because, quite frankly, I like the songs and I know this one's truer to the actual Mulan legend, but to me, the film meant so much, and it still means so much that to see a culturally accurate one, I think, would destroy my love for the original, or it would not mean as much and I wouldn't enjoy it. Maybe one day I'll give it a go, who knows. The next book is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. This is the back. This is the new editions, so I don't really know. I was just looking up some things Cassandra Clare said about some of the things in the book. There's a t-shirt that you can buy apparently, and it says, "Clearly I've made some bad decisions," and same. That sounds fun. The next book is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. Very beautiful. I tried to marathon the trilogy and it didn't work because if I read too many of the same series or in the same world for the first time, I can't read. It just puts me in a reading slump. But I'll show you how gorgeous that map is, because the Grishaverse is absolutely stunning and I can't wait for the Netflix show. The next book is Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman, the sequel to this fabulous book. And they're going to look so good on the shelf together, so it's that way. So good, I can't wait to read this one. The first one was really good, I was not expecting it. I can't remember where I finished it. I finished it somewhere. I think I finished it on a train and was like, I need to, because when I read, I react. So if it's a funny moment, I'll laugh. If it's a sad moment, I'll tear up and things like that. Or I'll throw books, because sometimes they hurt you and you have to hurt them. It's fine. And if they're your book, it's okay. But yes, this I can't tell you about because it's a sequel, but it's a world where people don't die. So they have these things called scythes who glean people to keep the population down. It's a really fascinating thing. Now on to my first of 3 rereads. The third, the bottom of that pile, because it's a big book. Anyway, Burned by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. I read or reread Untamed a couple of days ago, and it really got me in the mood for the House of Night series, because in October the next book's coming out of the Otherworld series. So I'll talk about the next book as well, because I'm reading the first book in the Otherworld series. Just because I love them both, and I've read the series so many times that I'm now able to be like, oh, I'll just read books in any order and I'll be able to follow it. Same with Harry Potter. I could just be like, I'll read the Half-Blood Prince, and now I'm going to read Prisoner of Azkaban, then I'm going to read Deathly Hallows, and then I'll read like Chamber of Secrets, and it just, you know, it doesn't really matter to me that I can read them in any order. So these are definitely on my TBR. I'm probably going to read them before I finish library books, let's be honest, because this series is incredible. It's one of my favourites. And finally on the list, a book that I've had for so long, a trilogy that's needed to be ended for so long, and that is The Retribution of Mara Dyer. Now, I'm just going to reorganise the books so they don't do that. It's a really good trilogy. I can't really talk about it because obviously it's the last book in the trilogy. Anything I say will be a spoiler. But the Mara Dyer trilogy, if you like unreliable narrators, read this series, because it's no idea what's going on. Because she has no idea what's going on. And finally, we'll move on to my third pile. Right. This has been on my TBR for so long. I've tried to read it twice at the library. I downloaded the audiobook from the library. And now I finally own The Divineness by Libba Bray. This cover is awful. I will read this. I will find out what everyone's so excited about this series. I promise you, I will read this book. And if I haven't read it by the time I am 23 now, if I haven't read it by the time I'm 30, say something, yell at me. I'm giving myself 7 years to read this. It shouldn't take me that long, to be honest. Now I own it, I haven't got time pressure on it, I could probably read it in a day. So here's hoping I read it. If I don't read it by the end of this year, I'm okay. If I don't read it by the end of 2025, if I don't finish this by 2025, you have permission to throw things at me, because I need to read this book. Okay, the next book has a sticker on it. This is what happens. I buy books, put them straight on my shelf and leave them. don't care that it was buy one get one half price of Waterstones 7 years ago. Not 7 years ago, because it's 7 years old. I don't know why I said 7 years. Hyperbole. Fun. This beauty, The Wrath of the Dawn. I think it's a retelling of something. And it has a beautiful map in it. I love fantasy books with maps. It's literally my favourite thing. Apart from like the Shadowhunters maps, because it's literally just a map of New York or London. And like, okay, I know what London looks like. I kind of know what New York looks like from TV. So, but yes, this beautiful, stunning cover with the, I think it's a Buddha, type of Buddha on the cover. Beautiful. And this is also a book written by the Mulan inspired woman. This is Mirage by Samaya Dowd. Has beautiful sprayed edges, beautiful purple, and it's a fairy loot book which is signed by the author. I got this I think in September, and it's this beautiful lush colour, and it's about a girl who looks like someone else, so takes over. So I guess like Princess and the Pauper retelling, or Prince and the Pauper. I grew up with the Barbie version, so it's Princess to me, because yeah. Anyway, next book is Heart of Thorns by Brie Barton. Trust your heart even if it kills you. Again, very beautiful book. Feels lovely, like this cover. It's raised and oh, I love it. What's it? I don't know what it looks like under the jacket. Oh, that's nice with the red and the black. Mira Rose wants only one thing: revenge against the Gwyrak who killed her mother. Yes. Is this also... Oh, there's a thing in here. Sweet Black Raves. Hands of Graceling and Miss Babylon. Ah, there's a fairy author in here. Don't know how it ended up in there, but it did. There's another fairy thing that's... Oh, it's this. It's the Brief Fire vinyl thing. And it's also signed by the author. I don't really like reading signed books because if I damage them, I've damaged something the author signed. But anyway, I love the detailing on the chapters. It's such a beautiful thing. Next book, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Not the sequel to In Charm and the Ravens, a completely different book that he's done lines. Anyway, the glitter and the teal, I love it. And the green underneath, I'm here for it. It's about a library and magic and the map. It's pretty. I can't. These books are just stunning. Like, I can't. They're beautiful. Next book is Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye. A Society of Assassins, an Empire of Magic, a World of Secrets. And it's got a couple of pages. I can't. And again, signed by the author. Just like light pale freaking spread edges, and it's black and it's got silver on the... I can't. What does it say? Sora can move as silently as a ghost, and hell throwing stars with lethal accuracy. That just... I mean... I can't. Verily, please don't stop sending beautiful books, but just know, if you keep sending them, I will keep freaking out over the gorgeousness of them. Just swapping the order of two of them around. This Girls of Paper and Fire has been on my radar for years. And it's signed by the author as well, and it's got pink edges, and it's black and it's pink on the... And people are yelling in my street. This is a really long video. If you've watched till this far, thank you. Why are you here? Like, I don't get it. I'm just screaming about books. But yes, this is a very beautiful, beautiful book. The rainbow thing, I love it. Please be aware that this book contains scenes of violence and sexual assault though, so if it's something you want to read, please be aware that that is a theme somewhere. It's so pretty. And the next one, Wicked Fox by Kat Cho, which is a Korean sort of myth. It's also signed by the author. Dark pink edges. Beautiful. Everything's stunning again. It's just, I feel like Fairy Leaves spoil us. And the New York Times bestselling author of The Wrath and the Dawn, second on this pile, said it is utterly transformative. This book is a delight from start to finish. Here's hoping. The next book, the penultimate book, which I will probably finish super quickly as well, is Night School by Lee Child, the new Jack Reacher book. I'm so excited to read this one. I try and read one of his books a month, but I have this one, The Midnight Lion left, Past Tense, and then the short story collection. There's 4 books, and the next one comes out in October. I think I can do it, but then I've got like a year to wait for the next one, and I don't know. I might have to start rereading my favourites of that series, see if they match up. But yes, Night School by Lee Child. This is not as interesting as the Fairy Loot ones, unfortunately. And now for the huge boy. The Hamilton, The Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Jeremy McCarter. I will probably be listening to this with the beautiful decorators on audio because I have the audio book, but I like looking at this because it's got the pictures and stuff. It's just so beautiful. Plus, I don't tend to physically read this because if I find it, what happens is a lot of things I have get creased. So I do this. We call it Hamiltoning it. Even Mum's like, shove it in Hamilton. And from this I have the May 2018 Fairy Loot bookmark, a print of The Cruel Prince, I want to say, a quote and thing. So a lot of the January Fairy Loot from 2018, it's a very beautiful thing. The June 2018 spoiler card, the February 2018 spoiler card, and what I do is they're usually in different places, but I just shove them in the Hamilton and they straighten themselves out because it's a heavy book, it's a really heavy book. And yeah, such a good book that I'd recommend getting it on Audible because it's cheaper. This was 30 quid. It looks like a real history book though. Like, it is a history book because it's talking about how the Hamilton musical was made and how it ties into the revolution that the real people that they're singing about or rapping about actually did. So it kind of talks about American history then and the history we're making now, because everything we do is making history, and I think it's fascinating to read that kind of thing. So yes, thank you for watching. I am gonna have a panic attack because I have, one sec. "32 books that I want to read. In theory I can do it. I can do most of this in August. if I read and don't DNF. Actually, no, I think I will have to DNF. But the thing is, the ones that I want to read most quickly are obviously the library books, because they need to go back. Night School by Lee Child, and the House of Night ones, and Thunderhead and Ruin and Rising. So I think that's 13. 14, pardon me, 19 books, maybe 22. Yeah, 20. Yeah, I really want, out of the Fairy Loot books, we get rid of this. I really want to read these 3. So hopefully I'll be doing a review or a wrap up soon as I read these books. Wish me luck. And as always, hashtag they're classy.